I think that a lot of people are having a lot of problems with relationships just because we've put so much into it as being like it will save us. This will make things better. I'm not okay by myself. If I add this other person, and then so many others, I mean, it's our natural thing to not want to just be lonely, and we all want to have that person that you can look across the room and meet eyes, and you guys, you know the joke without having to talk about it. And we all want that. We all want that kind of connection to somebody. But it has been so much about, it's been so much about just destroying humanity for so long. And it's created such dysfunctional relationships. And people think like this is all they can have, this is all that's out there, and stuff like that. But we've been trained to not be our best selves. And that's what I keep talking about, like with this TikTok and stuff. It is like, I mean, people are, absolutely satisfied with just giving up, surrendering to life, and not having the motivation to create what they want for themselves, how they see themselves, to be held back by whatever, chains or that have been handed to them, or that they feel bind them in life, or the shitty hand that everybody was dealt a shitty hand. But some people are a lot more affected by the hand they were dealt. And that's the whole thing, is those things are so you can learn about yourself, so you can learn about your resilience, so you can learn about your own strength. And you can learn about forgiveness. Sometimes it's about, so the person you're there with that has done the shitty thing, that you've agreed to come so that they can come and experience that pain or that feeling, so they can see it from that perspective. Sometimes it's you did shitty something to them, and now you're here to balance it out. So there's just, it's so endless of the possibilities. And it's just so funny because we think like we can think we know somebody when we've never even met them. And that has all been a part of this thing on TV. The people that think that they know somebody because it's like this, they get too familiar, and then the person on TV, it's kind of freaky, like, you don't know me, I'm just this is a person on TV or whatever. But it has kind of it's kind of just like where our society got to, you know what I mean? It's just this illusion and this confusion, and people really not understanding what is real and what isn't real, because so much stuff is lies, and inside themselves, whatever their inner voice is telling them, they're told that's crazy, shut it down. I mean, they'll put people on medicine for schizophrenia. There's a lot of times, like, I think sometimes my kids just think, oh, mom's just gone schizophrenic. She just start laughing out. She'll just talk to people we don't hear and stuff like that. But, like, they're funny. They say funny stuff. And sometimes I do talk back and say stuff out loud. And you know what? There's so many people, and they're told, that that's crazy. There's nobody talking. And then I feel really bad that people who get so overtaken by the negative spirits and stuff like that. Man, when I was in there, a psych nurse, oh my God, they were always under attack by demons. There was always battles with angels and demons, and and see, there could be this energy that's coming at you in your sight, in your head. You think, well, it's angels, it's demons. So you manifest that to be that. You will see it as you understand it, if that makes sense. That's in all things. You're going to understand things on the level of your understanding. But anyways, as they've been, destroying the family and stuff, they've destroyed people's, they've just broken people. They've destroyed their self-esteem, their drive. When you go out and you're working 3 jobs, you still can't get ahead. You just got creditors calling all the time. your wife just got pregnant. You know, there's just constantly stressors for people. And they just don't even know what to do. They're cut off from their inside. They are given this false idol of science, which is constantly manipulated, which just throws your mind off. If you've ever been together with a liar, which I've been together with, I believe, a pathological liar, that more than one, definitely more than one, that it's like they just lie just to lie. Like, it is but you will you start to go crazy because you know like what the truth is, and they will lie, just lie and lie and lie and lie and lie. It's weird. It's very weird to me. I don't understand it at all. I could not. If somebody was sitting there crying to me saying, okay, I'm about to go insane, you've got to tell me the truth, you can't keep lying to me, I couldn't lie to them. I can't lie to anybody without, I would feel too shitty. And another thing is I don't get what the liar is. How, no wonder they're just stressed out basket case bitch asses, because how do you balance all those lies? How do you keep them all straight? Oh, I told this person this. It's like, I can't live that way. That's not a cool way to live. That's bullshit. I don't have time to worry about what I told you. I'll just tell you the truth. If you don't like the truth, then, you know, that's fine. You know, you don't have to. That's one thing, is people feel like trapped. Like, so many people, like, they want to go on and say mean things. Like, there's just so many people who talk about this, who go on social media and they just get bullied and stuff. And it's just weird how many people will go on just to say mean shit to somebody. It's just is so weird. That energy will come back on you, but it just is weird to want to put that kind of energy out, you know? There's, you know, that's where you tap into the energy you want, you know, and you need to gain awareness, you know, of where you're tapping in your energy. And a good place to start is if it's hurting someone, or you end up feeling bad after you do it. So, I think people do shitty things, and they don't, to me, I don't want to do shitty things because ultimately I'll end up feeling bad. And I don't want to waste my time feeling bad because I got one over on them, you know, fuck them. I would rather, I know I've done it before, you know, and it ends up making you feel like shit. It will keep going over and over in your head. And like, I don't want that. I don't want to, you know, fine. If you want to see things the way you want to see them, then, but they are so driven to do that, and not empowered at all to be able to just switch to somebody else. If you don't like somebody, you don't need to go in and tell them. Just stop watching them. Just change channels. Like, people are so, like, they don't have any empowerment. Like, everybody just thinks that, well, you know, this is life. This is how it goes. This is what happens. You know, shitty relationships, men suck, and women are crazy. It's just all of this stuff is programmed into us. And we have to release this programming in order to, you know, create relationships the way that we want. And we have an inner knowing of what we want. And I swear to God, everybody I ever talk to, you know, it's usually people are talking about how shitty their relationships, and all I want is this, and all I want is that, and if I could just have this, then it's basically everybody wants the same stuff. But we've got such a messed up way of communicating with each other that goes beyond words. It's the way that we act towards each other, and our demands on each other, and our expectations on each other. That's where we fail. And giving over our power to become victims. I saw another one today. I watched Odin's Man. You can always tell if I watch it. But I saw another one today. Oh my God, this person, probably, I don't know, I would definitely say 350 to 400 is a guess, you know. There was one patient I had, and, you know, she was 5'2", and she was like, I think she was like 500 pounds or 450 pounds or something. But in her size, she was as big as like somebody who was 600 pounds, and because they all just become, it sounds mean or something, but they all just kind of become a blob. They can't really do stuff for themselves. They can't really get up. They just kind of become a mass. And I just recently saw this one girl who her aim is 1,000 pounds, and her normal size boyfriend, the same thing I saw in the ER. This is what got that doctor so upset. But this is what I say. A trophy can be any size, any shape. And these normal sized men who are feeding. And then this one, he is just making her all this food and feeding it to her and stuff. And he likes to watch her. I don't know. I mean, your skin is ripping and stuff. Your skin isn't meant to stretch like that. Your skin is ripping. You've got this giant sized body. Your heart didn't change. Your lungs didn't change. Your kidney, nothing changed in there. Everything is getting more squashed, more compacted, because fat is, it's not good for your body, no matter what these people want to say. And we know that if you take care of yourself and you get up and move around, that you will be more of a normal size, no matter if that is a bigger size or a smaller size. That is not really what is important. It is that if you eat properly and you take care of yourself, your body will go to a size that your heart, lungs, and everything matches. These people who are extremely obese like this, who have become like these victims. Oh, this lady, she didn't want to go to the doctor because she said that they'll talk about her weight. It's like, yeah, you're a young person who is killing themselves with unhealthy eating habits. Yeah, a doctor would be, what kind of doctor would he be if he didn't talk to you about your health when you came in? And when you're waving a flag as you walk in, it's obvious. Yeah, he's going to talk about what's obvious. So that's not to shame you or to victimize you. That is to help you learn and empower yourself so that you can take control of that aspect of your life that is completely out of control. But it's like they want to hold on. They just want these labels. They want to hold on, and everybody's a bully and everybody's this. It's like it doesn't make any sense. And these people too, that, now it's like a doctor chose your... No, that is your genitalia tell you, just like in every other animal species that there is of the male and female, the genitalia expresses which side they are, or their ability to conceive and give birth. I mean, this idiotic worship of science and the manipulation of facts, and it's just so ridiculous. I'm still just like, I can't even believe some of these people who 20s, 30s, who think they understand everything about life. They know it. They could tell us all how to live. It is just, what the hell? And then they're going to tell us that we don't realize our entitlement. We don't realize, all these, it's so crazy. I just to try and tell my kids, like, I grew up in a time where it was really racist. Like, I know what it is. We are not living in those times. We have completely grown. This is completely something different going on. But, you can't talk about certain things. You can't talk about the weather right now with people. It's just like, just straight in, well, it's climate change. You need that, what do you expect? This is the way of the world. It's climate change. But anyways, I started out talking about relationships. And I always go back to the same thing. It's a crazy world. But so in the relationships, we're going to be moving into other ways of having more healthy relationships. And you can't have a healthy relationship if you're not a healthy, independent person. If you are needing something from somebody else, right away, you are in that vibration with somebody else who needs something. You guys are not being honest. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not being vulnerable. You're playing games to get what you want. And you both have to be with this same person. If you're just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and totally frustrated, and they are doing these things to hurt me and stuff like that, you are hurting yourself. If you are being hurt repeatedly, you have to face the fact you're hurting yourself. You always have the ability to change the channel, walk out, leave. You know, if you're under severe duress where someone's going to murder you, I mean, that's a different thing, but you probably aren't watching this. So I'm talking to people who are trying to figure out like how they're so stuck in their relationships and why they can't move. And, you know, it's part of how we've been trained in this world, and it's going to be up to us to change that. And it's going to have so much to do with us learning about ourselves and learning to love ourselves, because then you won't put up with certain behaviors. There's no friggin' way that I would put up with stuff that I put up with before. And, you know, and I'm not going to shame myself for being where I was before, because it taught me to where I am right now. And that's, you know, you're in that process of learning. So don't ever feel like you're in the wrong place. You're learning something. And you know, when you really want to get what you're going to, the most important things out of it is any situation that goes on in your relationship, to always look at yourself. It's never about the other person. You're not going to fix them. You're not going to suddenly make them understand. None of that stuff. You're only there for you to grow, or you will have no understanding of what they are getting from you. Like you can't just be like, oh, this is what I'm here to teach you. That doesn't work. They will know what they're supposed to learn. It's not up to you. You need to focus on what you're supposed to learn, because you're supposed to learn. And I swear to God, 99% of the time, what you're learning is to love yourself and to prioritize yourself, to put yourself forward, to put yourself and how you feel above somebody else, to quit tearing yourself down to build others up. You know, that's where we have to, because the other way, it just builds resentment. It builds, you know, this, people just, they're having battles that are kind of unnecessary, you know. So the more that you can work on yourself, no matter what with the relationship. I mean, I know everything is a spectrum, you know, there's people in all different types of relationships right now. And, you know, it's kind of, you know, you have to use your discernment. You know, I'm not just telling somebody, you know, who's in this intense situation, oh, just go do this or go do that. You have to, you know, you have to resolve your own issues. It's that growing while you do it. You know, don't just go to somebody and, oh, she said I need to do this, so I need to do that. Or this person, they said if I do this, this will happen. No, what you should do if you're trying to really figure it out, you know, I love doing those pros and cons lists, you know, right, positives and negatives, like what do you want the outcome to be? What is it reality? You know, like one thing it can be, what do I want from love, and what am I really getting in love? You know, it's just to really try and understand your stuff. And it helps to me to write it down. Everybody has their own way, but I like to write stuff. And then, you know, go in and listen to a whole bunch of different people. Get a lot of different perspectives. You know, there's so many different books, gaslighting books. And for me, like, I can read something and I can see my side. That's what I'm trying to understand, my side. Because I'm the one who's putting myself through these patterns. I want to understand, what am I doing to cause these things to happen? You know, I may have got dealt this hand and I may not really know how to play it, but the more that I go in and try and understand about, like, the things that happened to me, like, you know, I was somebody who was gaslit all the time, you know, but I would allow that. I would allow someone else to do that because I wasn't strong enough for myself, but then I would feel crazy all the time. So, you know, but I had to go in and I had to recognize my part. Then I can go in and read the book And then I can understand what I'm doing and I can put it into play in my life. And I can start being aware of it. That's how you make the change. Sometimes, if you desperately feel like you want to get out of a situation, you're just feel super sad and super depressed. Sometimes just, putting it into motion, it sets that timeline, it sets that trajectory when you start making the plan. That's your intention. So it doesn't have to be like, I need to escape tonight. That's kind of desperate. It is more of like, start seeing what is it you want. Things will start coming into, they'll start manifesting themselves. Things will start happening for you to keep you on that path. If you're on the path that you're supposed to be on, if you start trying to go and everything is going wrong, then you're going the wrong one and you've got to go a different one. But if you are going, and you want to leave this person, and you're just sad and depressed, he yells at the kids too much, he's always angry, he's always mad. There's a lot of reasons. He's not just a jerk. And we keep trying to make like the good guy the bad guy. He's got issues, and we haven't been taught to communicate properly so that we really understand each other's issues and give each other space. We've given them our heart, and like, hey, you need to fix me, and now you've got problems. And so there becomes so much tension in dysfunctional relationships, and people become so miserable and so desperate. And so if you're in that kind of situation, working on yourself, even if it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so irritated, it's always me having to work on me, he never fixes himself. But if you are interacting with someone in a certain way and you change, it can't be the same interaction because there's something changed. So even if they try to play the same games, if you've changed, they can't. So it's learning, like understanding about the dynamic you guys have created, and it's always coming from some painful place in our lives. That's what people talk all about, the inner child. And there's a lot of those books to read. But when you go in and you start trying to really understand and see yourself clearly, that's when you can really start making the changes in your life and the growth. And it's all about you. And that's why yesterday when I was talking about sometimes people need to be apart so that they can grow. And especially when people think it's like, your fault, I've got this problem, your fault. It is never somebody else's fault. It is, they can trigger something that makes it feel like that isn't what caused it. But no, it's inside of us. And when that trigger happens, then it's like, a domino effect that we have we aren't even aware of in our emotional body, that it's like plays out patterns over and over and over and over until you fix it. And you'll just put different people in the place, but you will constantly play out the stuff. And that's why, it will seem like somebody just does the same thing over and over and over. And I was one of those people who went in several relationships and was just like, what is she, like mental? What does she think, like this one's going to be better? It does, and to the person who is doing it, yeah, things seem completely different. This seems like a completely different person. Things seem different. I feel like I learned from the last one, but there was still always something of me I was giving up. There was always me trying to make someone else happy or trying to please someone else. And even when I would get really irritated, I would just hold it back. Like, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But the whole thing is now that's more the kind of person that I want to be with. Like, I want to be with somebody who doesn't feel like that they need to just constantly change you, constantly tell you how to be better and stuff like that. Somebody who is more accepting, that there is that kind of balance. Like it's a higher kind of vibratory relationship. Now I just saw I've been talking for 25 minutes, so Anyways, those are just some things to think about. But don't just do something because you heard one person say it. You know, like yesterday I said for it to be a sign. Like when people are going around like trying to understand things or looking for information and stuff like that. You know, a lot of times they're looking for a sign. They're looking for some kind of the universe to give them some kind of feedback. And you know, I do think when you are having everything inside of you saying that this isn't working, this relationship isn't working, and you got to listen to that. And you know, a lot of people will stay in relationships just for the kids. I did. And you know, it's not, I mean, you're kind of giving your kids a shitty life, you know, when you think about it. You know, you've got to be your best self, even if you know, you made a mistake and you got married too young and you didn't marry somebody you were really in alignment with. You have totally different beliefs in every single way. Then you can, you know, you don't have to, there's no rules. Let's say, right now we're breaking all the rules. We're making our own rules. You don't have to stay in that relationship and have your kids, you know, go through all of this horrible, heavy things. You can also live in two different places and still share your kids. Like there's other ways that we can do things, and we can figure out new ways to do things to heal relationships, the ones that can be healed, and to also heal ourselves so that we're ready for a higher relationship, and we can teach our kids how to, you know, love themselves and to be ready for relationships. Don't go into relationships to save you. That's been our biggest problem. So anyways, I will talk more about it probably tomorrow. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.